Hi all, welcome to part 4 of Python OOPS tutorial. This is Chakravarti and I will be dealing with the OOPS tutorial part 4. In this tutorial, I'll be talking about the following topics: inheritance, namespaces of objects and classes, and I'll be talking about these two functions, isInstance and isClass, what is method overwriting, and what is data hiding. So this is the part 4 Python tutorial. So let's get started, right? So first, let's look into my code that was already discussed in the previous session. So this is a class that has already been defined as you've seen in the previous tutorials. And here are a few methods, right, which we already discussed in the previous tutorial. Now, what is inheritance exactly that we are going to discuss here, right? Inheritance is nothing but you're inheriting something, right, which is useful to you, right? So in this case, in the programming terms, right, so let's say you have a father, he has 10 lakh rupees and you're the son is freely happily inheriting 10 lakh rupees without any effort from his side. Similarly, in programming language, you're inheriting the methods or the attributes of a particular class easily by using the concept of inheritance. So let's see what I mean here, right? So here I'm going to define a new class, right? Say, let's say class trainer, right? And say, and this is the methods. Now I'm trying to inherit. Now observe this statement. What this statement means is, so what this statement here means is, I created a new class named trainer, and this means that inherit all the methods and attributes of class employee, right? So now let's try to operate on it and you will understand the difference. Now let's say I am creating an employee1 instance of trainer, and I pass the same thing, right? Virat, comma, Kohli, comma, 50,000, right? Now if you observe what happens, let's observe. As you're already aware, when an instance is created, it has to be initialized with the constructor. As you see, in this class, I don't have any constructor. So what it does at this point of time is, it goes to the parent class here, employee, since we have inherited the employee class, and initializes itself with this constructor that we defined here. So that's how it works, right? So now, as I define an instance of trainer class, I can also access anything right here. So if I just say emp1 dot raise underscore amount, right? Now if you look at it, I am accessing the value, the attribute in employee class, though I haven't defined anything in my subclass, right? So just have a look at it. Now when I type this, what happens? And there seems to be some mistake in my code. Let's see where it is, right? Okay, there's a quotation missing here, so that's the issue. Now we can just run it. So if you look at it, the emp1 instance, though it is an instance of trainer class, it went to the employee class here and got the attribute. So this means that though we did not define any attribute in our trainer class, because of inheritance, I could go to the employee class and get my attribute value from here. So this is what is inheritance, right? I'm inheriting the attributes and the methods of employee class. And this is how you define inheritance. Similarly, if you have multiple classes, parent classes, you can just put a comma here. Let's say employee, multiple classes, you can inherit from multiple classes, right? If you have multiple. So in this example, since we have only one, you can just inherit it multiple times, right? So anyways, we have only one here. So I'm inheriting only one class here, right? So that's the basic concept. Similarly, I showed you how to access an attribute from the parent class. Now I will show you how to access a method, right? So let's say I want to access a method. So emp1 dot display one, right? And just try it on it. So if you look at it now, emp1 dot display one, though the method does not exist in my subclass, it has gone to the parent class since I've inherited freely display, and it printed hi on my screen, right? So what does this indicate? This indicates that I'm able to access my methods and attributes from another class because I've inherited from it. So this is simply inheritance, right? This is part one. So this is basically inheritance, and you can have multiple classes that you can inherit from. So that is that is one of the concepts. That's the takeaway from this point, right? Now let's look at another topic, right? What are namespaces? So namespaces is nothing but, now if you want to know, for example, what are the methods and attributes, etc., that a trainer class can access, right? So you can just probably type in trainer dot underscore underscore dict and just do a print of it. So what does this indicate? Or you can also do a emp1, right? So here you see what emp1 can access, right? Employee 1 is an instance, so it can access all these values. As I said, it will give you everything, right? What are the values it has, what are the values it can access, attributes, right? Now if I put in a class here named employee class, you will see all the methods, etc., right? Employee. So it's basically showing all the namespaces, all the methods, attributes that it can access, right? See, there you go. See, I have a raise underscore amount one method, you know, a display method, a display one method, etc., display one method, split function of employee class, right? So that's how. So it only will show you the namespace that you have access to, what methods are present in a class, what attributes are present in a class, etc., etc., right? So that is the main concept of underscore dict. So this is very useful when you don't know what are the methods, when it's a very large code and you don't know what are the methods contained in a particular class. This is a very useful statement that you can use, right? So this is one of the important use cases, right? So let's comment this out since we've finished this, right? Okay. Now let's look at the next topic, right? So is instance, so this is just a simple function, right? So we can just, it returns a boolean value of true and false. So what does is instance of, right? So is instance will basically check if the instance that you have created is a part of this class, right? So let's see an example. Is instance. So we have created an instance emp1, right? And is it part, what does it say? So let's say, is it part of a class? So let's say I would type in employee. So the value would return true because emp1 is an instance of employee class. So it will return both the subclass or the parent class, whichever it is part of. So if it is part of a subclass or a parent class, so it will return true. So in this case, I should receive a true value. Okay, I didn't do a print statement here, so let me just print this out here, and now it should come true. There you go. It is true here. Similarly, as I said, is instance of would also is going to include both the parent class as well as the subclass. So even though I put in trainer here also the value would be true. There you go. Right? So let's look at the next function, is subclass, right? Now, so I just remove this. So is subclass is basically just checking if this subclass is part of the parent class, and then it will just return a value of true if this subclass is a part of the parent class. So here we know the subclass is trainer and the parent class is employee. So the value would be true. There you go. The value has come to true. So So this pretty much completes what is the is instance of and is subclass of. Now here comes an important point. Let's discuss what is method overriding. This is a very important point that everyone has to understand. Now let's look in this class employee. I have, let's say, a method of display one, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just define another method, right? So let's say I'm going to do the same thing here, add static method, and I'm going to put a define display one, and I'm going to just say print there. Now when I am, so let's remove all this, comment out all this so that nobody gets confused. Now what happens when previously what was happening was when I was typing in m1.display1, previously what happened was in the previous section it was printing high, but now I created a function in this trainer class saying display1. Now which one is going to take precedence? So always the method in the subclass will take precedence. That means it will be applied and not the one in the parent class. So now I will get when I type in m1.display1, it will go to this display1 under trainer class. It will not go here of employee class. So that pretty much, right? So if I type in here, the output should be there. There you go. So there is the output. So this pretty much means method overriding, right? When it's simple, method overriding just in one liner. When there are two methods with the same name, right? Which one is going to take into effect? And when there is a clash, right? The one which is in part of the subclass. So for example, M1 here is an instance of trainer class. So since display1 is a method of trainer, this will be executed and not a different class or the parent class, right? So that pretty much means method overriding. So the next part is what is data hiding. So if sometimes you want to protect your attributes, right? So if you, let's say in this class, I would say underscore underscore y. So you put underscore and two underscores, y is equal to 10. That means the data is hidden. So what do you mean it's protected? It has an additional layer of protection. So when I try to access this variable saying m1 dot y, you will get an error. Just have a look at it, because that error is protected, right? So it's saying it has no attribute y. So if you want to access such protected attributes, you have to explicitly specify the class name. Underscore, put an underscore, class name, and two underscores y, right? The same way you define the data hidden attribute, and now you will get the value. Okay, I didn't do a print statement here. That's the reason why you didn't get the value. So just do a print statement and you will get that. So there you go. So data hiding is just like a protective layer where you're explicitly calling with the class name and put an underscore class name and the data attribute of the hidden value, which is underscore underscore y. So this is called data hiding. So pretty much in this topic, we pretty much covered the inheritance, namespaces, two functions, is instance, is subclass, overriding methods, data hiding. So guys, anyone have any issues, you can always reach out to me on Facebook, Nadenla Chakravarti, which is my name. You can just search on Facebook, and also you can just drop me an email in case you have any questions, or please subscribe to the channel and support us. Your support is very important for us to post further such videos, right? And also to help any poor kids that we want to help, right? So thanks all for watching this video, and have a great day, and thanks a lot.